Right. What's happening? I can see myself. Oh, hang on. I can see myself. There must be something going on. Oh, yes. I can see myself. That's good. I'm just going to do the usual. Oh, yes. I can see myself. Oh, and I have 2 watching already. Right. Let me just share. Okay, Twatter. And face cloth. Come on. It's hourglassing. Yeah, it's about sharing the shit out of it. Right. Oh, good, it's working. Right, I think I'll share it. I'll share it around the groups now. I might as well. Share to groups. Okay, so that one. That one. And that one. Right. Hello, Seth Fletcher. Great opening post. Trump won. Yeah, great opening comment, mate. Thank you. Just let the numbers build, as the saying goes. How are you, Seth? Thanks for joining us. Hello, the Crafty Nihilist. Welcome. That's Seth and Crafty Nihilist, which is 3 people in the chat already. Crafty Nihilist counts as 2. How are you? I got the phone on the hook because I might have to. I might have to take a phone call in the middle of this talk. It's to do with work. I'll make it as brief as possible. I'll mute the mic and everything, but just let you know, I've got to keep. I've got the landline in here. I've got to keep it on the hook. Any more viewers? I'm not bad, thanks. I'm not bad, thanks, Seth. I'm all right. I'm doing okay. Yeah. So, it's 3. Am I getting any more than 3? Can we have a raise on 3? Anyone else? The problem is I can't put up you can't put it up now before. What's the word? Hello, Al McCall. Hello, Tina. How are you? You used to be able to put the thing up before, and it used to have a screenshot saying, "Oh, you've got what's the word? It'll be in 2 hours or something." You can't do that anymore. Hello, Dalai Lapa. Crafty Nihilist says, Ben, will Biden be the disclosure president? Too soon? Hello, Woody Black. Will Biden be the disclosure president? I would say no. Steve Bassett thinks yes. So I'm curious to talk that over with him. But, yeah. No, he will not be the disclosure president. Hopefully he won't be president for very long. Yes, I hope. We've got 10 viewers now. That's good. I don't really have a lead-off as such. I mean, the lead-off for this was really my Alt Tech exclusives that I've just done. Who watched my Alt Tech exclusives? Put a 1 in chat if you watch my Alt Tech exclusives. I'm just curious to see how many of you made the transition over to BitChute. Anyone? Yeah. Well, 15. Yeah, it's building. That's good. Hello. Oh, Crafty Nihilist, thank you. The lights were low. Hello, lights were low. Hello, Crafty Nihilist. Thank you, Crafty Nihilists. Yeah. I would say to you guys, and Tina, thank you, Dina. David Gregg is here. Hello. Woody Black. I've just seen them. I should check my BitChute more. Is it true? Yeah. For some reason like that. For some reason, because you used the word BitChute, it was held in. It was held for approval, but yeah, I've approved it. BitChute is not a dirty word, I don't think. But it is to YouTube, but... BitChute, BitChute, BitChute. Thank you, Tina, and thank you, Crafty. And Buddy Black, they're there when you need them. Hello, Pookie Nana, how are you? Evening, Pookie Nana. I think we're going to have to do more, of... I think we're going to see more Alt Tech exclusive work on on that I'll be doing. So I'm going to be doing more and more videos, and YouTube is going to become so constrictive that I'm going to have to do more and more just on BitChute, on Odyssey, and not on YouTube. Crevice is a dirty word, and BitChute isn't. Crevice is a dirty word, but BitChute isn't. Well, crevice is not a dirty word, is it? A crevice is just like a gap in the rock. I'm sure it's a dirty word if you fall into one. But good to see you too, David Gregg. I've got a few notes, and of course I'll go through your comments on the Charlie Ward. Anyone? Who is he? Charlie Ward. He does a channel. It's quite good actually. It's quite an interesting channel. I don't quite understand everything he says in it, or follow everything he says, because for example, he says he was a member of the Plymouth Brethren. I didn't know the Plymouth Brethren still existed. I know that the Plymouth Brethren were basically, it was the church that existed when Aleister Crowley was young, and Aleister Crowley was actually a member of that church. Tina Silver, please discuss Q, LARP or laugh. It's neither, Tina. It's neither. It's. I know not everyone agrees with this, but I think there's some reality behind Q. I covered QAnon on my Alt Tech exclusives, and I've done more of it. I mean, I mentioned it. I know because you've watched them, so you'll know that. But I mentioned it on my Alt Tech exclusives. But I did have some. I have done special videos on QAnon. But I'll be going into. I did mention QAnon. I talked a little bit about what was going on with Q, and all the predictions made by the Q posters, and how many came true and how many didn't. Basically, none of them came true. The Crafty Nihilist says, "Can we have some Talking Heads music next Thursday night?" Oh right. Honestly, seriously, I've been thinking about. Oh, sorry, you mean for the show? So you want Talking Heads? You want me to play a song by the band Talking Heads? I'll do that. Yeah, I'll make a note of that. Let me just write that down. We're on the road to nowhere. La, 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 la. They're a great band, weren't they? Great. Are they still going? Are they still going? I think they are. I'm Talking Heads. Supreme Being says the whole inauguration was vomit-inducing. Supreme, I didn't watch it for that reason. I knew it would be. I've seen a few highlights and I've seen a couple of stills. Crafty Nice says that poet made me want to puke. Silly daft, silly cow. Do you know, like, doesn't she realise, like, that when people are making people are criticising Trump for little indiscretions he might have made, right? Biden has been recorded using racial slurs, attacking people with racial slurs. 2016 meant nothing, said Diego Rivera. No, it does mean something. It means everything. It's something they can never take away from us. And what if 2016 happened once, it can happen again. Hello, DJ. The thing about from what I've seen from the stills and the brief clips I've seen of the inauguration, it was awful. I mean, people described it as looking like a funeral. Dalai Lapa says there's some reality behind Bambi, but it shouldn't be the basis of your environmental opinions. Bambi's a cartoon. Diego Rivera says 2021 we're living in a Masonic police state. Yeah. Trump's the biggest flop in history, also says here. No, he's not. No, he's not. He's not gone. I don't think he's gone, you know. I think he's got plans to come back. Supreme Being says you didn't have to watch the whole thing. Just 10 minutes is enough to get the gist. They looked awful. I mean, the people looked dismal. They were all wearing these black coof masks, and I thought they're all wearing some black themed kind of clothing, and I thought to myself, what? It's like they were really scared and really upset. There was no one within a mile of them, apart from a couple of reporters, and Lady Gaga with her dove brooch. You see that huge brooch she was wearing in the shape of a dove? I think that's got to do with Colombia, you know, because Colombia is is Latin for a dove, and Colombia, as I explained in the old tech videos, it's a very old name for not North American, both American continents. But it's what they was used when people were exploring. They called it Colombia. Diego Rivera, Trump is no Julius Caesar. Unfortunately, he wasn't, would it? Trump did not put up a fight. I was watching Simon Parkes just now, and apparently, according to his contacts, he was as upset as anyone that nothing went down. I was upset. I was disappointed, of course, as anyone else was. David Gregg, the more I hear about Brexit, the less I believe we got a good deal. It wasn't an ideal deal, David Gregg. And what's more, if Biden has his way, he's going to wage a trade war. As I explained on the Alt Tech exclusives, he's going to wage a trade war against Britain to get us back into the EU, try and blackmail us back into the EU. The Crafty Nihilist says that, was it Lady Gaga? Was it a Hunger Games brooch she was wearing? Lady Gaga. Why was she wearing? Why is she wearing something to do with some little book or film at an inauguration? Pookie Nana. I heard a great discourse on YouTube about Q. Apparently, the Bolsheviks ran a similar op called Operation Trust, which posited that high-rank military would restore the Russian Tsar. I know there's a lot of talk about Q now. A lot of people, skepticism about QAnon is growing now, and I understand that because basically the plan failed, didn't it? And that's the thing. I don't believe Q is false. I was just talking to someone just now who believes Q is false. I know loads of people believe Q is false. I've explained on previous videos why I think Q is real, but just because Q is real doesn't mean we should just trust the plan. Pookie Nana says, quote unquote, trust the plan. Yeah, we did trust the plan, and nothing came of it. Supreme Being says Biden's MO was talking about freedom, honesty, equality, and being against white supremacy. So I assume he was okay with black supremacy. Well, of course. I mean, he's going along with this with wokeism, isn't he? PlayStation says Simon Parkes still saying trust the plan. Well, Simon actually admits that the plan went wrong. This doesn't mean there's not going to be a new plan. This is what I said. We mustn't give up. I did a radio show last night, Panorama Radio. I talked about this. We have good days and bad days, and this is a bad day. Hi, Jock of Ages. David Gregg, yeah. Lady Gaga's brooch to do with Hunger Games is maybe a symbol of where we're heading, yeah. Dalai Lama says, don't worry. Trump will save us. Well, I think he will. He's got plans to. He's just had to change those plans because the original one didn't work. Diego Rivera says Kamala Harris will be president. Oh yes, I'm sure she's looking for any opportunity she can to push Joe Biden down the stairs. She can't do it too soon though. It mustn't be too obvious. BitChute says plutocracy in the shape of Biden won the election. Plutocracy in the shape of Trump lost the election. No, it's not a normal election. Crafty Nice, the Hunger Games Society. David Icke mentions it a lot. Dystopian society where 1% literally hunt us to the death. Yeah, I've never read those books or seen the films, but I gather it's about that. It's kind of future, dystopian future. PlayStation, if you talk about your Q subs, if you talk about Q, your subs will go up. Why is that? Simon Parkes went from 2,000 subs to 56 in 1,002 months. All right, Q, come on. Let's be having you. Hit that button. Pookie says freedom, lol. Yeah, she's nicked that story from Martin Luther King. Cheeky bitch. It's a complete lie. Everyone knows it's a lie. The Lights Below says a good thing about the USA is they like to shoot a president from time to time. Well, that could be a good thing or a bad thing. It depends who the president is. Hi, number one fan. How are you? Tina Silver. I saw chemtrails today, so the plan is still in progress. I saw them too, Tina. Yeah, they're quite. It wasn't as heavy as the last couple of days or last week, but still there. Crafty Nihilist also believes Kamala Harris will be president. Lisa, no worries. Lisa's a bit late. No problem. Hi, Lisa. How you doing? Oops, was that gun loaded? Pookie now. She'll have to wash Joe's DNA off her dress first. Yes, like Monica Lewinsky. TK, hello. You naughty conspiracy people, go and get vaccinated. Yes. We're all domestic terrorists now, aren't we? Remember? We are all illegals now. We're all potential, non-violent extremists. David Gregg. The British are famous for queuing. Lol. Yeah. That's why QAnon did so well over here. Diego Vera, will you protest against the lockdown, Ben? Yeah, I already have. I did a video about it. Pookie Nana. Oh my goodness. The answer to your question is I don't know. I dread to think. It's the most horrible it's the most horrible thought I can have, apart from Nancy Pelosi's sex tape, which is supposedly on her laptop, which was stolen by one of the protesters. Hey, it was a good show last night, Ian. Lisa, yeah, it really was. Hello, Alan Vicker. Excuse me. John. Oh, hello. Pukina. Joe will slip on the steps of Air Force One. I have a feeling something will happen to it. Hello, Yarlan Zay. Lisa says it's all a movie, guys, and we are going like the end. Need to be strong for a couple of weeks. It's coming. Mark my words. Yeah, there's a lot of it's important we don't give up about what's happened. It's been a bad couple of days. When I became a conspiracy theorist, my grandma said to me, "You'll have good days and you'll have bad days, young Ben. You'll have good days and you'll have bad days." Well, this is one of the bad days, Nan. I know you're not alive, but if you're listening in the spirit world, this is one of the bad days. Manchester Blue, don't Fed post, please. I know. Look, I don't. You know what I think about if you go to my video Jews, you'll see what I mean about that. The lights were so. Have we heard from the mumbling since? Well, he's left a couple of comments which I'm going to be reading out shortly. But generally speaking, it's about 3 a.m. where he lives, and he can't be bothered to get up. The lazy git. Diego Ferrer, what about Biden and UFOs? Another disclosure video by you, Ben? I'm hoping to get Steve Bassett back on, because he's the best one to comment on that. I mean, he has literally the inverted 180-degree opposite vision to me about the whole thing. He sees Trump as like the monster that has to be removed by some lawful force. I see Biden like that way. That's how I see it. It's been a bad year, says number one fan. It has. And it's only like a couple of weeks old. I mean, it's like 2021. It's like the spirit chaser after the beer, isn't it? If 2020 is your pint of lager, 2021 is like your spirit chaser. I mean, I just hope that means they don't expect us to down a pint of spirit. Dalai Lama, I can see your post. No one's censoring that. David Gregg, always look on the bright side of life. Lisa says, only appears to be one of the bad days. In reality, it's the start of something amazing. The fences around Washington would keep people in, not out. Washington is the last of the three centres of control. You mean the City of London, the Vatican? Yeah, they're sort of microstates. Has the city fallen in Vatican? Vatican apparently is gone. I mean, I've heard many people, a lot of the Q posters are saying that the Pope's been arrested. I mean, the problem with the Q posters is they don't have a single narrative. They all have different ideas. They interpret the drops in different ways. One thing I've learned is to go to the original drops rather than to just read the commentators, because if you read the commentators, they say very, very different things. What I'll do is Manchester's blue. Israel lost their best friend in Trump. Moved the embassy to Jerusalem. Well, it's funny you should say that, Manchester, because The Zionists and the Palestinians were protesting with equal volume about moving that embassy. So he's obviously an enemy of Israel, but he's also a friend of Israel at the same time. Lisa says the people have to be shown with Trump seemingly out of the picture, so he's not labelled a dictator. Wait and see. I know. Wait and see is the operative word, isn't it, Lisa? You need a lot of patience in this business, don't you? A hell of a lot of patience. CK, the live stream. It says in the notice that the live stream is all about Trump's inauguration. Not Trump's inauguration. Oh, Freudian slip there. Biden's inauguration. Model 9746. Are you British? Yes, I am. David Gregg, 65,000 troops in DC. Yeah, and they're still there, aren't they? They haven't gone yet. They're still there. You'd think now the inauguration's over now, so why are the troops still there? BitChute, Ben, UK Gov planning on closing borders to prevent spread of virus. Well, that's about 33 years too late. Yeah, of course, the borders, the open borders thing is their original plan. The virus is also being used for the same agenda of the New World Order. They're just closing the borders temporarily because it suits their purpose. Alan McVicker, what happens when the Pope dies? Well, Alan, according to the prophecy of Saint Malachi, he was a 12th century Irish bishop, and he went to Rome on a pilgrimage, and he had an encounter with an angel who told him that there would be only 111 popes, and then the church would fall and it would be Judgment Day. Well, so basically, who was Pope when Malachi was alive at the time he had this experience, and who's the 111th after that one? That's right, it's Francis. So he's, according to the prophecy, he's the last Pope. Diego Rivera, Prince Charles did not like Trump. I bet he didn't. Trump knows too much about what he's been up to. Jono says, have anyone heard that Biden is not allowed to use Air Force One? I hadn't heard that, no. But I know that Trump was using Air Force One when he ceased to be president. He was actually in the air. I mean, according to Simon Parks, he didn't go to Florida. I think he probably did go to Florida, but so Trump maybe still has Air Force One, and old Biden's on the phone saying, "Oh, Donald, give me my plane back, please. Give me my plane back." TK, Biden joined the Paris Climate Accord. Yeah, he did other things on top of the things that I mentioned. On top of the things I mentioned in the alt-tech videos, he's also getting United States back into the World Health Organization. The wall, he's ordered the wall to be stopped building. That's the southern border wall. He's ordered a cessation of construction on that. He's introduced a fast-track system for allowing immigrants to an 8-year track to citizenship for any immigrant, including the illegal ones already here. That's in the States, that is, the illegal immigrants already in the States. They now have an 8-year track to citizenship. He's reintroduced critical race theory, which is this head-messing thing that they teach you in universities and schools and things, and that's awful, that is. And if you go to the White House YouTube channel, one of the first things, presumably Biden or one of his media team took it over, the first thing they did is they deleted all of the Trump videos. Well, it's not Donald Trump's YouTube channel, it's the White House's YouTube channel. How dare they delete it? How dare they delete it? Oh. Okay, I'm just going to go through. Oh, this is not very. It's not easy to read the chat, actually. No, Dalai Lama. Biden can barely use the English language. Oh, he's in a terrible state, hasn't he? The lights were low. Harrison Ford still has Air Force One. What a bloody awful film that was. Yeah, that was a bloody awful film. Tina says Biden is getting a new plane. Tina, it wouldn't surprise me if it's a chemtrail sprayer. Dalai Lama says so much for the American revolutionary spirit. Now all they have to do is take their nukes and piss off out of it. It's shocking. I mean, if Simon Parks is right, then Biden doesn't have the nuclear codes. I'm very. If that's true, I'll sleep easier at night. The thought that he might have the nuclear codes is absolutely frightening. I mean, not that he might launch them, not that he might launch them deliberately. It's just he might launch them by accident. He's such a doddering old senile git. Jock of Age says the Antifa firebomb the Democratic headquarters in Portland. I know. That and everyone, a lot of people voted Biden because they wanted them to stop doing that. Oh. Pookie Nana, if you type antifa.com into your browser, it goes to the White House webpage. Yes, I tried that and it's true. I didn't believe it, but I tried. True, yeah. Jeremy Dark Egg 1E says Trump pissed on the seats of Air Force One. It's in for a clean. He probably would. I think that's a bit beneath him. You know, I mean, it's true he's left a bit of a mess for Biden to clean up deliberately. He's basically fighting a rearguard action, and like a good soldier in that situation, he's planted a minefield. But he wouldn't stoop to that level. Nihilist Lives Matter. I watched a video a few days ago about how Ron Paul was defrauded in the primaries in 2012. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Ballot stuffing, voting machine irregularities. Yes, same trick. Keeps working. What's more, they kept doing that to Bernie Sanders. Nihilist Lives Matter mentions Gore, Sanders, Paul, now Trump. When did the US last have a fair election? Well, as far as the Gore-Bush thing, it didn't really matter because both of them were establishment. But it's pretty awful. I mean, did you see? There's a meme going around of Bernie Sanders because he was like sitting there all on his own, socially isolating, all wrapped up in a warm jacket, looking. Funny enough, he was the only person there not wearing a black coof mask. All the others were wearing black cloth coof masks. He was wearing a paper surgical one. But that's gone viral now. There's loads of memes of Bernie Sanders sitting there in his warm jacket. But yeah, he's Bernie Sanders is pathetic. He's absolutely pathetic. He was screwed. The only reason he didn't get the chance to run he'd get the ticket to run for president. I mean, I'm not saying he'd been a good president. I wouldn't support him, but the only reason he was not on the ticket was because Biden and his team screwed him, just like Hillary Clinton did in 2016. And what does he do? The moment he gets shafted by these people, he goes and endorses them, the daft old fool. Yeah. Funny thing about Bernie Sanders is I know his brother, because his brother lives not far from me. He's called Larry Sanders. He's actually in the Green Party. He's a councillor. I mean, I got on all right with him. I used to know him more when I was younger, when I was a trade unionist, but Alan McVicker, I think Kamala Harris probably will take over at some point. She will be the first woman president, and she'll be an unelected one. Oh, she's actually not the first woman president. The first woman president was Woodrow Wilson's wife, because basically he was in the state of Bernie Sanders actually towards the end of his life, and she did it all for him basically. And I've got a feeling that's already happening now with Bernie Sanders. DK, is that the level of conspiracy here? Someone points to a domain to somewhere and you're convinced the Illuminati exists. You talk about the White House thing, the Antifa. No, try it for yourself. Woody Black says, have you seen Biden's choice as health secretary? Rachel Levine, lol. Oh, it's the transgender woman, isn't it? Yeah. Who's apparently going to be, I don't know. I mean, is she qualified? I mean, what is she? What's her qualification? His or her qualifications? Oh, it doesn't matter. We've got to be diverse. Jock of Age, Ron Paul was always popular and always got shafted. Shame. Him and his son are good people. Yeah, I liked Ron Paul. Ron Paul was kind of a Trump before there was a Trump. Download up. A cunt in the Ovum office. What's new? I think you're studying obstetrics and gynecology at medical school, aren't you? Nihilist Lives Matter. Michael Obama will be the first POTUS who identifies as a woman. Sorry, Michelle Obama. Oh, sorry, I was right first time, wasn't I? Michael. Pookie Nana, she makes my eyes water, I'll tell you. I'd say I wouldn't go up against her in an arm wrestle. Yeah, Manchester says that's all the qualifications you need in the USA. It is nowadays, isn't it? Woody Black says Jessica Yaniv turned it down, apparently. Well, the new health secretary looks like a kind of older version of Jessica Yaniv, although Jessica Yaniv is Canadian, but who cares? It's diversity. It doesn't matter how good or bad you are at your job. No. Oh, I'll go to your comments now, guys. I'll go to your comments on the. Don't directly post any from me at the moment, just because I'm just going to read out your comments. I'm feeling a bit knackered, actually. All right. I've not been in the best. So if this might not be a long live stream, I'm just not in the best of health at the moment. Or in the best. Here we go. Charles Unleashed says this will be rough. Oh, George, jump aboard. Start posting, Charles. Nothing is as it seems, says hashtag Biden's basement. Oh my God, I don't want to know. I'm not even going to go there. Rex Makepeace. I think Trump lost the election because of his poor handling of COVID. He made many mistakes, especially with sourcing PPE, travel restrictions, and lack of funds for small businesses and families on low income. America, with its financial climate, did very little to finance the supply of facilities, face masks, hygiene detergents, and medical treatment. As a result, many Americans lost their lives. We're talking over 250,000. Instead, Trump focused on the big corporations, giving them tax relief packages. The people that would normally vote for Trump became disillusioned as this was the so-called people's president and defected over to the Democrats. Then Trump said outlandish things such as digest disinfectant, telling people not to wear masks and not enforcing lockdowns, contributed to his election defeat. If the elections were held before COVID, I think Trump would have got another 4 years in office. No, he wouldn't. The COVID-19 thing was... The thing about Trump told the truth about COVID-19. Unlike Boris Johnson has completely cucked over the COVID-19. Trump didn't. He tried to tell the truth about COVID, but unfortunately the media were parroting the old, oh my God, we're all going to die, pandemic, vaccines line. And so the president started to sound like what you said, he just didn't care about people's welfare. And Trump deliberately tried to stand up to the coronavirus agenda. He would have got another 4 years in office right now if it hadn't been for electoral fraud. Good. I'm recording this actually as well, just in case YouTube tried to decide to yeet this particular live stream, which they may well. Was a reply. Crafty Nihilist said, he didn't lose though, and this is coming from someone who doesn't agree with voting. Correct, Crafty, he didn't lose. They made it look like he lost. Limespecs says, have you accepted it now, Ben? Have you seen the stuff on Twitter about Q and that it was a 4-year-long ruse? I think the truth movement needs to step away from day-to-day politics and focus on the bigger issues. Put Trump behind you now and leave the 2016 effect alone. Brexit and Trump are done. Look at what's happening ahead. Well, Limespecs, I do look at what's happening ahead, but no, the 2016 effect is not done yet. We still have Brexit. And we can pull back. I mean, if Biden gets the chance, if he stays in, he is going to wage a trade war with the United Kingdom, and it's going to be blamed on Brexit. He's going to basically use the TTIP, the Transatlantic Trade and Investment Partnership, to screw up the British economy with the help of the EU. And there's going to be a lot of pressure put on us to go back into the EU. And it's all going to be blamed on Brexit. No one will blame it on Trump. It'll all be Brexit this. Brexit that. It's only Brexit that's the problem. All right, I'll go back to where are you now? Okay, I'm just going to de-troll for a second. Oh, that's okay. Thanks very much. Thanks for helping me out here. Tina Silver says, Colonel Saunders. I don't know if they're related, if Colonel Sanders was a real person. Larry Sanders is actually, Larry is okay, actually. I knew, when I was a trade unionist, we used to go out on all kinds of events together as a group. Manchester is Blue says, drink a coffee, Ben. I'll show you. Yeah, I might go and get one in a minute. BitChute says, your track record is not great. First Boris, then Trump and Q. Surely it's for reaction. It's for reaction. Well, as far as Boris goes, he is a disappointment. He has regressed. As for Trump, well, I think it's too soon to count Trump out, and Trump can make a comeback. Trump, apparently, the latest thing from Simon Parkes is that Trump, and several other people have said this, is Trump is going to be sworn in as the 19th president since Ulysses S. Grant, because that's when the US became a corporation. So he's going to be like the 19th original US president. I don't understand all the details. On the 4th of March, because that's when they used to hold inaugurations. Well, that's another date for your diary. We'll see if this one comes true. Peaceful Warrior, hello, how are you? Jock of Ages, he got more votes than the last election. He got more votes than any. He got more votes than any presidential candidate in history, apart from Joe Biden. Oh, and of course, as you know, for Joe Biden, it was mostly the dead people. It was mostly the fake ones. Tika, how can you live in a world where you think the governments and all above you are trying to get you and enslave you? I have no choice, because this is the world we live in, TK, and you've got to just deal with it. Nihilist Lives Matter. The EU, Boris Johnson completely capitulated to Biden. I know, it's disgusting to see. It's disgusting. What happened to Britain's Trump? What's happened to him, Jen? What happened to the old Boris? Hello, Onslow, how are you? Are the pieces falling into place? He did get the job. Oh, yes, unfortunately. Mantra's Blue says QAnon is fake. We made it up years ago on 4chan. Well, the problem is there's lots of people now claiming to have made up Q, and there are fake Q posts. That's the problem. There is no single Q narrative, and there are fake Q posts. I've actually done several videos now about why I think Q is real. I've done several videos about why, and about. It's a long story, but I think Q is real. Pookie Nana, Boris is a dick slapping fast sniffer. Unfortunately, well, he is, isn't he? I mean, he used to be someone I sort of respected as statesman goes. I used to think he's okay. Nihilist says Trump won't survive 2021. My money's on cardiac arrest while playing golf. Well, they could make another attempt on his life. That's the problem. Now, is Lisa there? Because here we go. Just adjusting my notes. Because Lisa told me about something very interesting earlier on. She asked me to bring it up tonight. But what happened was there's a video. It's called "But You Know the Darkest Hour is Always Before the Dawn," and that's Charlie Freak, which he did today. He's just done. Or he did that. Sorry, he did that on Inauguration Day. And he interviews this guy called Justin somebody, and they talk about the whole Washington D.C. thing, the fact that D.C. is nothing to do with the United States, that D.C. is simply District of Columbia, and they're using this really archaic name for the American continents. And so, Lisa, if you're there, I remember them talk. What else did he say? I can't remember everything he said, but Onslow says, I think the good guys are becoming more effective. I think we are too. Who knows when we might hit that 100th monkey point? That's the thing. The Dalai Lama said, these days they call it being black-pilled. When I was a lad, it was called just growing the F up. No, look, Dalai, I get this from a lot of people. I get it all the time, right? That people say, oh, Q was just a LARP. We said it from the start. Things like that. Or they say that there was no Q. There was no Q from the start. They say that people who believe in Q they're just relegating they are abdicating their responsibilities to some imaginary force for good. Oh, it's a psyop designed to keep people away from action and things like that. Now, the thing about it is, I think Q is real. I've explained why I do. I think there is some deception involved with Q, and there's some fake Q posts that will put out. However, you see, I'm the first person who says we shouldn't abdicate personal responsibility. I'm the first person who says that. But what I'll find when that happens is the kind of Q, the people who's always say, oh, Q's a LARP, Q's rubbish, they then turn on you and they say, oh, what are you? You're just one person. You can't do anything. So which is it? Is it one or the other? Are we as individuals helpless and can do nothing? Or are we as individuals powerful and can do something? Or are there powerful good guys on the inside working to end the New World Order? Or are they not powerful good guys working to end the New World Order? Because these things are mutually exclusive. If they're not, it means basically there's no hope. And we might just go around going, oh, everyone's a shill, everyone's a shill, everyone's an agent, the New World Order is unbeatable, they're invincible, everything that happens is exactly what the Illuminati want to happen, we're all doomed. You must just go around like that. Amazing Polly made this point, she really did. Weekend at Biden's. I felt guilty watching that film, because it's just so funny, it's in such terrible taste. But it's so funny. Weekend at Bernie's. It's a film it's a comedy about these guys who go stay with this guy, and he's basically dead, and his corpse plays a role in the rest of the movie. It's just incredibly tasteless and facetious, but I laughed my head off. Where are we now? Hello, Monopod BS. Where we go on, we go all. I saw there's this woman crying her eyes. Have you seen the video of the woman crying her eyes out? It's Monopod says, admit it, Ben, you are Q. Oh, I wonder when you're going to work that out. Crafty Nihilist says Nigel Farage has gone mental. Yes, he has. He's saying that Tony Blair should run the COVID-19 relief project. I mean, what? Yarlanzay says, Ben, have you heard from Richard D. Hall? He put out a video before Christmas, but nothing more since. Do you know if he's okay? Yes, as far as I know, he is. He's been making some new videos. He's not made one lately, but he tends to go quiet for a couple of months while he makes videos, and he puts them out in a series. And then he does a tour, but then he goes quiet for another couple more months. So don't worry about him. I think he's okay. Lisa, that's all right, Lisa. I was just talking about Charlie Freak's video, the one you sent me. Pookie Nan says, Washington, D.C. is part Virginia and part Maryland. It is, isn't it? It's kind of like you go to the River Potomac. It's on the left bank of the River Potomac. Or Potomac River, as they say in America. And it's like just a little sort of oblong wedge just cut out of Maryland, basically. I should have visited it because, I mean, some of my novel is set in that area, and it would have been, ideally, I'd like to have gone and visited it. Yeah. Diego Ferreira, all your predictions on Boris Trump and QAnon have been wrong, Ben. No, they haven't. No, they haven't, Diego Ferreira. I predicted a lot of what Trump has done in his 4 years. I predicted. Same with Q. I mean, things have gone 2016, and which Q said would happen. As for Boris, I predicted that he would continue to be Britain's Trump, and I was wrong on that one. Yeah, he's been compromised, so that's one thing I was wrong on. Dalai says, who mentioned Q? I didn't. I was talking about a person coming to maturity with a healthy appreciation of this whorehouse called Earth. Well, I think you'll find I have that, yes. Lisa says, I'm not going to argue with those that can't see the bigger picture anymore. All I'll now say is, watch the spaces. It's going to seem like the worst nightmares come true for another 8 weeks or so. Lisa, yeah, see what happens. Lisa says, that's very true, Lisa. Just see what happens. You know, at the moment, the media want to demoralise us. They're portraying everything the way they want to. But look, when you look at their behaviour, they're very the media are so triumphalist about Biden. They always have been. They've been far more triumphalist than Biden and his team himself has. Look at them sitting around in their black suits on the steps where hardly anyone was there. Old Bernie Sanders was sitting in a corner crouching with his arms folded. They looked like they were at a funeral and they're wearing black. I mean, I don't know why black. Why do they all wear black coof masks? Why that colour? I mean, it's what we associate with death. We associate black with negativity, especially death. I mean, people wear black at funerals. It did look a funeral. It looked like it looked like one of those old Soviet presidents. It was like watching one of those old parades in Moscow from the 60s in the Cold War. Lisa says, I'm not going to try and convince anyone. I've done my bit, as have many others. If you can't and won't see it, then you just have to wait. I think that's true, Lisa. I mean, all we can do is put aside our point of view. I mean, everyone was saying, oh, Ben, are you going to admit you were wrong now? Well, I'm not going to admit I was wrong unless I am wrong. And so far, I'm not sure that I am. Hello, Fab Moon. How are you? Fab Moon, are you Robert? Are you Rob Treehouse? David Gregg, Farage is not to be trusted. Correct. Pookie Nana, everyone will die if Blair runs it. Yeah, I think that's the idea, Pookie. I think they want everyone medicated with cancer viruses and things like that. John O, Twitter is finally suspending popular Antifa accounts. The left used them, now they don't need them anymore. Well, that's what you do a deal with the devil. What does the devil do when he's finished using you? When you're no longer of any purpose, they get rid of you. Fab and Moon, are you Rob Treehouse? I think you are, aren't you? Nice, I remember all about Blair. Yeah, he's bloody awful. And Farage used to be so much opposed to him, and now he's kissing his ass. Lisa says Trump did win the election. Correct, and that is not going to be, forgotten. That's not going to go away. Damnable lies like this eventually will come back, and they will bite Biden and his team on the arse. BitChute, yo man, cup of coffee and a wash your face with cold water. Alright, I think maybe I should, yeah. Maybe I should get myself a cuppa. There we go. Dalai says, I've just realised something. My time with the digital chattering class is over. All the best. See ya. Alright, Dalai, take it easy. Take it easy, mate. Hello, Dag Ghost. Fab and Moon is Rob Treehouse. Hello. And Dag Host 200 says, so who won the election? Trump won the election. I'm going to make a cup of coffee. 1 sec. I should put the kettle on. I've got my own kettle. No Less Lives Matter says, been watching Hank Springsteen, Bush, Clinton, Obama. It was sickening. I wanted Ricky Gervais hosting the inauguration. So did I. Bloody heck. That would have been great, wouldn't it? That would have been great. But Lisa says it was not real, and this is interesting because, according to Charlie Ward, I mean, I mentioned this in my exclusives. I'm not going to go through all the points I made in my exclusives. But you know that Charlie Ward said that it was recorded in advance, and he can prove it because he had one sent to him at 7 a.m. out, a good 5 hours before it actually happened. I'll be right with you. Just guys, just to make some coffee. Oh. Nihilist lives matter. Farage roasting Blair at the EU Parliament was epic. You know, it's funny thing is, like, it was Farage himself who showed that clip before he then went on to basically to suck his you know what. And I just thought, what's wrong with you, Nigel? What are you doing? Lisa says, I do think Farage may be speaking about Blair as a way to highlight what he really is. All part of the game, I believe, Ben. Really? Because I'll have to watch that video again, Lisa. But he just seemed like, oh, Tony Blair's the one to run the. He's the one to run the COVID-19 response. Let him organise the vaccines and things like that. I was so impressed with his plan. Lisa, we have to see beyond what appears to be the obvious. It all plays out on a different level. TK says Trump will win. I think I still feel hopeful, believe it or not. I still feel hopeful. And I'm not just... Lisa, it's not filtered water. What I just made that. I was just like normal water from the tap, which I keep in a pot in a pot which I fill the kettle with. Nihilist Lives Matter says Farage wanted Brexit for deregulation of financial services. Anyone who thinks he wanted it for the hoi polloi is a naive fool. Oh my goodness me, a naive fool. Well, what if I said that anyone who thinks 2 + 2 = 4 is a naive fool? What would you think about that, Nihilist? Would 2 + 2 therefore equal 5? I don't think the point. I know you're making. You do make a point as well as all that rhetoric. So I'm being slightly unfair to you. But Nigel Farage actually did not want just deregulation of financial services. He'd actually left the banking sector by then. There's a lot more. I mean, Richard D. Hall does this big thing about that, and I sort of criticise him in one of my reviews. Crafty Nice. I hope Liberace gives us a tune while we're waiting for you, Ben. Oi, Alan! Get playing! Did anyone see Biden get prompted to salute the Marines, and he just repeated what he said? No, Pookie. I did see that the National Guard were turning their backs on him, which they're not supposed to do. Dag Host said, 200, lol, lol, lol. What happened to the arrest that was supposed to happen at the inauguration? I know you're going to get hurt when the reality sets in. Oh, man. Look, before you get into this backslapping thing with other anti-Q people saying, oh, la-di-da-di-da, told you so, na-na-na-na-na-na. Do remember that everyone is disappointed that didn't happen. However, if you watch the Q posters, you'll find out exactly why that is, or you'll get a couple of stories of why that is. Obviously, something did go wrong. I admit that. But before you start gloating too much, and it's a silly gloating like this is a silly thing. But Amazing Polly did a video about this. It's rather childish and rather effeminate to gloat in this way, but it could be that there's a backup plan. There's probably a backup plan. Pookie Nano's having a cigarette, I think. TK says, aren't water filter companies putting poison in the filters to get those who dodge tap water? I don't think, TK, I think that'll be a little bit too obvious. Lisa says, it was done to show what they have been, and next few weeks to show what would have been. It was all there, the inverted cross Bible Biden put his hands on. We were meant to see that. So it was all... This is basically just to educate the people, Lisa. Is that right? I mean, I think that's a possibility. That's a distinct possibility. I mean, Biden has literally spent his first few days, a couple of days in office, just literally undoing everything that Trump has done. He's actually signed more executive orders. He's just after just 48 hours as president than any other president in history. He's literally panicking. He's desperate. He's panicking to get that done. He's literally going nuts. He's saying, I have to get this done. I have to get it as quickly as possible. Did any of you seen that crying woman there's a woman who's crying, and it's horrible actually. She's It's just a short video, about a minute long, where there's this woman crying her eyes out because Biden was inaugurated, and she was saying, "Oh, why wasn't he arrested? Why didn't the plan work?" And she's crying. She's saying, "President Trump, please help us. God, please help us. Save her from the devil," and things like that. And she's obviously very, very distraught. And she's sitting on the toilet, which is a bit embarrassing, of course. But I just, all people like Kevin Logan and that are just taking the piss out of her, and I just felt so horrible. She's obviously genuinely distraught. But Kevin Logan was mocking her, and other people have been mocking her. It's really cruel. I put a supportive message on Twitter for her. Flaven Moon says, Michael Tsarian said years ago that when the NWO is brought into being, when it is finally born, it will be launched into the waters of the female. A female US president would be that sign. All right. Lisa says, Harris not touching the real one because she put a handbag on top of the... Did she? She put a handbag on top of it. Does she not? I mean, obviously she's rejecting religion, yeah. David Gregg, does the cup come with the T-shirt? What, world's greatest gardener? Apparently Biden signed... This is Lisa again. Apparently Biden has signed loads of new executive orders, but none of them have appeared on the public site. They usually do. Not checked that myself, what others have said. Nihilist lives matter. Anyone for a game of Deadpool? Trump, Biden or Assange first? Oh dear. Is that where you guess who dies first? And Lisa says about Farage, it's called laying a trap. Oh right, laying a trap. This is what Trump was doing for Biden, wasn't he? By bringing the troops home from Afghanistan, by doing that thing at the Alamo. It's a minefield, yeah. As for Nihilist's question about Assange, I think probably Assange. I mean, I don't know why Trump didn't pardon him. I really don't. And Pookie says many of them just reverse Trump's executive orders. Correct. And now this is why they rigged the Georgia runoff. They now have control of the houses of legislature, and obviously the judiciary is not worth its salt. Can't do a damn thing. So basically, Biden and Paris or whoever's behind them are now dictators until such time as they are removed. Because they are unlawful leaders, they will be removed. Lisa says, "All right, if they'd arrested at the inauguration, everyone would have said Trump was just being a dictator. It has to be this way. He has to stand back while the military come in. You will not, of course, see this on mainstream media. This is a war." Unfortunately, yeah, Lisa, I think if he had arrested Joe Biden, it would look that way because the media is all behind Joe Biden. The media has been ramming home this message. Biden is the great new president, and if anyone says otherwise, they're evil. I mean, they're calling us domestic terrorists just because about 100 of us went into the Capitol building. There were about 1.5 million people actually in Washington that day. Only about 100 or 200 actually went into the building. Pookie says to Lisa, "Why would they? Pelosi is we have to pass the Obamacare legislature before we show it." Nihilist says, "If Biden was the victim of a JFK-type assassination by white supremacists, it could be spun beautifully to galvanise US into 9/11 fashion." Yeah, and quite honestly, if I always said from the start that any backlash, any backlash against Biden's victory in the election will be met with enormous hostility in the media, and it would absolutely turn half the country nuts with rage. They would perceive it as a coup. You could stand back and you could stand with them and explain exactly why Trump was doing this and say, look, it's not a coup d'etat. We're putting down a coup d'etat. It would fall on deaf ears. Manchester is blue. What happened to Trump's wall, lol? Well, many hundreds of miles of it were built, and now Biden has ceased construction on it. That's one of his orders. Lisa says, yes, Ben, he has not signed real executive orders. They're not public. He, or whatever that is playing his part in the movie. All right. Pookie Nana, Hillary Clinton? Oh, God, I'm sure she's going to have some kind of role to play. I'm sure if they have their plan. Lisa says, anyway, as I say, it's a waiting game. Now we'll find our own ways through this and watch different things. I'm happy with my views and who I listen to. It's waiting is the operative word, isn't it, Lisa? You have to. There's an awful lot of waiting in this business. Definitely. It's a waiting game, definitely. Hitting like increases visibility, says Pookie Nana. Oh, go be my guest. Go ahead. Stuss Page of Goo says, I thought it might have been done before the election. Trump warned everyone that Biden was going to steal it. He said the Biden team were going to steal it, and he was right. He was absolutely right. Diego Rivera says, have you ever considered life modelling, Ben? Maybe when I lose a bit of weight. I've piled on the pounds. I really have, because of the lockdown has caused me to put on weight. I think most people are in that position. Sonara Zastri, how are you? Evening, Ben. Better late than never. How are you, Sonara? Lisa says it's not even laying a trap now because it's already scripted movie being played out. Niall says, I think Trump sees Assange as a traitor to the US. No, he doesn't. Trump said this actually before he ran for president. And then later on, he changed his tune. Pookie Nana, going by Hunter's Lappy, that will be China. It's all coming about Hunter's Biden now. It's all being spoken about more openly. They kept it quiet because they knew that people wouldn't vote for Biden if they found out. Lisa says, although the last 3 digits of my birth certificate, which I noticed just before burning it a few years back, are 007, lol. Oh, so Lisa is the first female James Bond. Pookie Nana, a lockdown lardy. Yeah, that's what I am. Lisa says she's put on weight. Yeah, well, the thing is, I'm only working like 4 hours a day. I'm on most people I know are on 4-day, even 3-day weeks. I'm on working most days, but I'm only working 4 hours. And of course, it's when you've got this free time. It's always tempting to eat something nice, isn't it, to pass the time? BitChute, Ben, the best way to lose weight is to get yourself a drug habit. Well, will caffeine do? Will alcohol do? Yeah. So, what else is in my notes here? Yeah, I felt it was horrible that I've been hate watching Kevin Logan for the last couple of days. I don't know why. I'm like the two men in the private box, the old guys in the Muppet Show in the private box. Why do we always come here? I guess we'll never go. He's been absolutely scathing. And this woman who's crying, this poor lady who was crying her eyes out, frightened, like many, many other people, just saying what happened, what went wrong, and of course the fear now of knowing that the plan didn't work. There may be another plan. In fact, Lisa says there's another plan, and I think I'm quite open to that idea. This is one thing all the Q posters are saying. They're saying there is another plan. There is a backup plan, but it's frightening. It's frightening for this lady. She's just sitting there, and she's on the toilet. I mean, the poor lady's just lost all awareness, self-awareness. She's crying her eyes out, sitting on the bog. And people are teasing her, and she's just really scared. I sent her a supporting message, just to say, look, don't worry, big hug, it'll be okay. It's understandable. I mean, it was a shock to me when I suddenly these things pass over you like a wave. I don't know, I think this happens with a lot of situations. It's just something just flushed over me. I just thought, my God, Trump's not the president anymore. My God, he's just gone. He's now we have. Yeah, I just got used to it. I've just got used to having this individual, this very admirable individual, running one of the most powerful countries on earth, and being against the New World Order. And now suddenly, he's gone. And Boris, of course, has been cucked, hasn't he? Fab and Moon. Since the entire fake pandemic has been so badly done, so blatantly, provably bogus, with hundreds of medics opening exposing the voodoo with tests and numbers, etc. What more will wake the sleepers? In Wales, you've had this problem in particular, Rob. And I'm being an expat taffy. I feel for you. The fake tests and things like that. Lisa says, my prediction is, come Easter, you will start to see stuff. If not, we're all doomed. Then we're all doomed. We'll see. I hope so, Lisa. I do. But even then, I mean, you never know when you're going to hit that 100 monkey point. When will it be? When will you hit that 100th monkey point? BitChute said, as Mike Tyson said, everyone has a plan until they get punched in the face. Well, this is sometimes you've got to punch back. That's the plan, isn't it? That's what being a boxer means. And I'm the first to admit that there's no peaceful way out of this now. I mean, I've got to disclaim that, right? If anyone feels angry and upset, I understand you feel angry and upset, but don't do anything individually stupid and pointless. Just pointless destruction won't help at this time. It may make you feel better. It may give you the illusion that you're doing well, but it won't actually do anything. If there's got to be lawful use of force, then it has to be done in the proper way by people who understand politics, understand the law, and they understand the military. It's got to be done properly. It's as frustrating as it might seem. You just have to keep spreading information and wait for those who have the ability to act. There's a lot of patience involved in this. TK says, say that again, please. Trump is not the president. Yeah, I say that because Trump actually is the president. So I should qualify that. Trump actually is the president. You can't call Biden the president when he's a fake, when he's a liar and he's a cheat. Trump is still the president. He won the election. But I just had this wave of misery come over me in one go. It passed over quite quickly, and I believe in having a stiff upper lip and dealing with this stoically. But I just had this wave come over me when I thought, my God, he's not the president anymore, and we've now got this idiot, this senile old git who's obviously been controlled. He's obviously been played like a hand puppet with some Illuminati operator with his hand up his arse, moving him like a glove puppet. Lisa says Trump has not gone. He's still the commander-in-chief. You'll see. I can't imagine, based on the fact that the troops turned their back on Biden as he was driving along, are they going to take orders from that old git? Seth Fletcher says Trump 2024. No. The thing is, forget elections now. Forget elections. There'll be no more elections unless Trump can expose this, and the people behind him, the good guys, can expose this. Because what will happen is they're going to just rig every election now. They'll either have they'll have establishment candidates going against each other, in which case it won't matter, like Bush versus Gore. The deep state didn't care whether Bush or Gore won because both are establishment. Or they'll just rig it. They'll just rig the situation. The open borders means, and the path and the fast track to citizenship means they're going more and more rungs. When another election comes around, the country's going to be several more rungs down the demographic ladder anyway, which is going to be a higher hill for anyone to climb. Trump has to expose this. Well, forget 2024. Forget the midterms. Oh, Styx Hexenhammer was given it. You just wait for the midterms. There'll be a huge backlash. No, there won't, because they'll just rig those elections too. Je suis Tadpole 14. That's a good name. Says, where's Amazing Polly these days? BitChute. She's been banned from Twitter. She's been banned from Twitter and banned from YouTube. She's on BitChute. It seems like all the best people go there. This is why I'm doing alt tech exclusives. If you need to seriously, guys, go over there. There's loads of good content creators over there who are no longer on YouTube, like Alex Jones, like Amazing Polly. They've all been banned. I don't believe in being a false martyr. I could have done those old tech exclusives on YouTube and then just got banned. But what's the point of that? There's no point in that. I might as well just keep the YouTube channel if I can. So if you haven't already, do go to BitChute. Join BitChute now if you haven't already, and sub to me. Because I've got a feeling I'm going to have to make more BitChute exclusives and Odyssey. Same with Odyssey, and Library TV is actually just a part of Odyssey. But you know, BitChute says if you don't get the vaccine, you're a racist. I know you're joking, you know, but BitChute, it wouldn't surprise me if someone actually says that. I mean, if they can cancel Martin Luther King, which they've done, why not? Martin Luther King was cancelled. Did you hear that? Because apparently what happened was Martin Luther King was written. A young teenage boy wrote him a letter once, saying, "Dr. King, can you help me? I'm having feelings for other boys that I really ought to be having for girls." And King wrote back to him a long letter explaining how this young boy could be cured. And King was also religious. He was a Christian, again, not very, very politically correct now. But the worst thing he did was his most famous moment, 20th of August 1963. He's doing a speech in Washington, D.C. to protest, and he says, I have a dream that my children, my four young children, will live in a world where they will be judged by not by the colour of their skin, but the content of their character. What does today's left say? No, you should judge a person by the colour of their skin. Today's left say a person's skin colour determines the content of their character. And so Martin Luther King he's now persona non grata. He's another domestic terrorist. Get him out. Je suis Tadpole 14. There's no political solution, folks. Unfortunately, now there's not. See, Trump had to exhaust every political solution. I mean, you couldn't go in with guns blazing straight away, because then what would happen? People would say, well, why didn't you go through the courts? Why didn't you do this? Why didn't you do that? Why didn't you appeal? He has to exhaust all the political solutions first, because then everyone can see the political side is completely fraudulent, and therefore force is the lawful use of force under the Constitution is correct. Let me just find, where's that? Hang on, let's have a look. Yeah, here we go. U.S. Constitution, Article. What's the one? It's one where it says, one of the articles of the Constitution says, is it Article 5? Oh, Article 25. I don't know. There's an article of the U.S. Constitution that states that in the event that an unlawful government comes to power in the country, the people have a right to remove that government. It says that. If you remember, if you read the Roswell trilogy, available at all good bookshops now, £10, you'll know that this actually happens in my story. They actually an unlawful president is removed under the 1776 Declaration of Independence. Lisa says it was recorded, not real. Biden is not the president. So yeah, it's Charlie was saying that, didn't he? Charlie Ward. If that's true, can he actually prove that he got that sent? Because he said he claimed that someone sent it him at 7 a.m. I mean, if that's true, yeah. Je suis Tadpole says, if other whites don't realise whites are under attack now, then wake TF up. Yeah, I think what they're doing is they are it seems like they've got it in for white people, doesn't it? What Biden's been done so far shows they really, really can't stand white people. As I said I've said on My Voice, this is like a new civil rights struggle. But I mean, the question is, what is it about white people they don't like? Because I don't believe the Illuminati actually like white people any less than they like any other race. I mean, I think they see us all, whether we're black, white, Jewish, Chinese, Indian, whatever we might be, I think the Illuminati just see us as another species of farm animal. But it seems like they're putting the white people separately, and they're trying to persuade the other cattle, or sheep, or pigs, or whatever we are, that we're like the evil ones. And I wonder what that is. I mean, there's no really satisfactory explanation for that I've seen so far. It's definitely happening, but I don't know why. Lisa says Trump will be inaugurated on the 4th of March. This is what I think will happen, but time will tell. Yeah. Tadpole says, please stop believing in Q. It's tried and tested communist astroturf. No, it's not. It's Q. There's a reality behind Q. I think that there's fake Q posts out there. There's a lot of disinformation associated with Q, but there is a reality behind it. I've done a video explaining why. It's called the QAnon Livestream, I think. And Tadpole, you may be interested. If you really want to know more about what my views on Q, I've covered this in more detail on Her Panmo Voice. If you go to the Her Panmo Voice blog, you'll see I have a lot more on there about Q. Lisa says Martin Luther did his final speech on my second birthday in 1968. Not that I remember. That's just before he was shot. Yeah, he was shot supposedly by someone called James Earl Ray, who was prosecuted. However, Ray protested his innocence, and he was supported by King's family. Actually, no one actually believed they'd really done that, and that essentially King was like another Kennedy. Because both the Kennedys had been assassinated, both the Kennedy brothers were dead in suspicious shootings, and now King died. And it's rather like, and in fact, like I said, I think most people thought that James Earl Ray was innocent. He got a retrial, actually, which didn't work, but King's family supported him. Tadpole, Operation Trust, I will look that up. I mean, I've absolutely no doubt that Q was subverted. I've absolutely no doubt. This doesn't mean there are not real Q and a real Q poster. I would recommend going to Her Panmo Voice, Tadpole, checking out my articles on QAnon, because I cover it in detail. TK asks, have aliens got anything to do with the election? Yes, because, well, I believe that Trump was intended to be the disclosure president. He might still be. If he makes a comeback, he might still be. Steve Bassett thinks no, absolutely not. That basically everything was on hold with disclosure until Trump was gone. So Steve Bassett and I have completely opposite views on that. But I'd love to be proved wrong. Tadpole says, look at the overrepresentation of a certain tribe in our parliament and all of Biden's new cabinet. Tadpole, I know what you're getting at, and I think you're wrong. If you go to my BitChute channel, this was removed from YouTube for hate speech, but I've done a video called Jews. It's simply called Jews. It's on my BitChute and Odyssey accounts. If you just have a watch of that, I'll explains all about that. But I think you're barking up the wrong tree here. You really are. Lisa says, if Trump had left office to allow an unlawful president to take office, he would be guilty of treason against the American people. This is why he's not going to go away. I mean, he's been fighting back for so long. He's been fighting back is he suddenly going to quit now? No, absolutely not. He's never shied away from a battle in his life. He's had to take on rivals in New York when he's building his business empire, which he's been doing since the early 70s. He's going to keep going. Lisa says, yes, Ben. Charlie Ward says he sent the video he received at 7 a.m. around the whole of his team. Not seen that, but I guess he should be able to prove it. Certainly. If the team confirm that, then yes, certainly. Tadpole says the 14 words checking out. I know, Tadpole. Again, I suggest you watch the Jews video. I know what you mean by that, yeah. There's nothing actually immoral about the 14 words, I don't think. There's nothing in there that's immoral. I mean, what's wrong with... I can't actually recite it, otherwise this whole live stream would just go flat, but what's wrong with having a future for people, and future for children? Sounds perfectly okay with me. But do check out the video I just mentioned. Let me know what you think. Put a comment on there. This is an anti-human transhumanist agenda. It is, isn't it, Tadpole? You're right there. Definitely. BitChute says it's jealousy. What's that, BitChute? Spiders, hello, says shit shoot shill central. What do you mean? Oh, you're not one of these shill heads, are you, Spiders? If you could, BitChute is a freedom-loving. Ray Vahi set it up specifically to combat censorship. Ray Vahi is a bloody hero. I know where the headquarters of BitChute is because is Tina Silver still there? Because Tina, we've been to see it, haven't we? TK says, "Oh yeah, Biden is a Christian, isn't he?" That's a bit. The thing is, well, he may say he is, but they've got to pretend to be Christians. It's the same way that Kamala Harris pretended she was like a wokist. I mean, she made this horrible video about affirmative action, which was really awful. I mean, I personally think affirmative action is an abomination. But the fact is, even she doesn't believe it herself. She made it. They're pandering, you see. They're just pandering. Biden is pretending to be a Christian the same way Bill Clinton did because he knows that America is still very, very religious. Also, at the same time, Kamala Harris, they both need to pander to the far left in the Democrats. Tadpole says Q started out with facts but then got co-opted. Yeah, unfortunately, it didn't. The facts haven't gone away. There was a genuine Q. There are still genuine Q drops. It's very confusing, extremely confusing. But, you know, I don't go along with this idea that it's just a complete fabrication and a psyop. On a Panmo Voice, I discover that in more detail. Lisa says, so guys, are we being currently hit by Storm Christoph? Downpouring of pure consciousness, of course. Christoph, yeah. Well, I haven't seen it arrive yet. I mean, is this just another excuse to give more taxes to the Met Office? I don't know. Alex Ritchie, hello. 17 flags behind Trump's goodbye talk. Yes, exactly. What's the 17th letter of the alphabet, guys? That's not an accident, is it? No one's flower. Hello, how are you? I think Trump led conservatives up the garden path. Now the surveillance knows who opposes world fascism. Well, do you mean like with the people who are now called domestic terrorists? You could say that because there's now, as I said in my Alltech exclusives, there is a distinct move by certain individuals to create basically a thought police to keep an eye on and, if necessary, give a hard time to anyone who supported Trump. The various ways they designate someone a domestic terrorist is very, very spurious. But I don't think Trump led them at the garden path. The surveillance, yeah, of course, we're all under surveillance. And, of course, anyone who opposes world fascism will be marked, including myself. We're all going to be marked. We're all in that position. BitChute says Q equals bullshit. This is BitChute, I should point out, is not BitChute, the real BitChute. It's just someone who looks kind of... It's bit and shoot, 2 words. Nyla says illegal aliens had a lot to do with the election. Yes, and they will continue to. This is why Biden wants as many of them as possible in the country. Yeah, he's crafty. He's going back. He's really desperate to get the New World Order, the America back on the New World Order train. It's been derailed by Trump. He wants it back on that track and running as soon as possible. They're panicking though, aren't they? This is the good news. It could be seen as they're so overstretching. It could be seen as desperation. Tadpole 14 says, I saw a UFO for the first time on Hogmanay, and I'll check out your BitChute, bud. Thanks, Tadpole. I take it you're Scottish with a name like that. Oh, right. Did you get any pictures of it or anything like that? Pookie Nana says, funny how Jesse Jackson survived all those assassinations. Yeah, he ran for president a few times, didn't he? He didn't get him anywhere, but he did try to get into. He was rather like. I think Jesse Jackson is kind of the American equivalent of Jeremy Thorpe. Always sort of on the second tier, never at the top. Tadpole says, fasci simply means stronger together than apart. Now wrong with that. Look up on YouTube the bundle of sticks story. The symbol of the fasci is, yeah, a bundle of sticks tied together, but they've got the axe head in the middle. And the thing about it is, though, that there's several ways of interpreting that. You could say that, yeah, it's about teamwork and things like that, and people forming alliances. But on the other hand, it could also symbolise imperialism and the what's the word? The subjugation of individual nations, such as the European Union, because the fasci is the symbol for the European Union as well. And it actually appears in the US Senate, doesn't it? You see the fasci built into the walls. Lisa says, BitChute is run by a close friend of Robert David Steele. I don't know if Ray Vahi knows Robert David Steele. I don't know, but if Tina is still in chat, she might tell a story about how we actually went to BitChute's headquarters. It's surprisingly modest. We didn't go in. We just went out. We saw it from outside. Tadpole says Harris didn't have her hand on the Bible. She had her purse on top of the Bible. I just thought, yeah. And that weird, Tadpole? Purse, of course, is the American word for handbag. Wasn't that weird? It's like, because she obviously has to pretend to go along with the Christian thing as well as pretending to go along with the wokeism. But she obviously had to. She obviously did something. Oh, that's weird. She's like she wanted to be honest just for once. And Lisa pointed that out. Yeah, I know you did. Neil, hello. How are you? Neil says, keeping me company whilst I was up. I heard Clinton nodding off in 3 former President TV meetup. Nodded. Is that Bill or Hillary? Could be either. Where are we now? Jason Cavea, hello. How are you? TK, Biden had a terrible life, family dead. Yeah, I mean, I felt a moment, I felt sorry for him once, because he did something that was clearly senile, but he pointed at this young woman and said, oh, this is my son, Beau. Beau Biden died. Beau Biden, he was a senator, and he was a senator or a representative or something. He's dead. He died a few years ago. He's only 36. And he was pointing at this woman, saying, this is my son, Beau. The woman he was pointing at was his granddaughter. I mean, I just felt... For a moment, I felt a bit of sympathy for him. And I just thought, I think they're using him, you know. I think they're just using him. He's obviously not capable of being president. He's obviously not the real president. I mean, even in the normal sense of the word, he's like Woodrow Wilson. Probably Harris is doing most of the work for him, just like Woodrow Wilson's wife did. Basically, the first lady under Woodrow Wilson was basically the president. There's your first woman president, yeah. Lisa says, let's just say apparently he, like Epstein and many others, has his own island. Whoever Q is, whoever he, she, they are, I hope they're all right. I mean, it's possible some of them might be in jail or even dead right now. I don't know. I hope their names are recognised at one point. Nihilist says, Bill probably nods off listening to Hillary. I bloody would. If I was married to Hillary Clinton, I mean, she'd be under the patio in 3 months. I'll tell you, I couldn't bear it. It'd be under. And Pookie Nana makes the good point that Hunter Biden actually did have an affair with Beau's wife. Yeah, shagged his own sister-in-law. How about that, eh? That's family solidarity for you, isn't it? Jason Conveyor, Ben, would you consider doing a live stream talk about the Netflix documentary Surviving Death? I'm actually going to watch that because I won't have anything to do with Netflix. I will not get a Netflix account because they're a bunch of. Do you remember you know it because you watched my interview with Ren Michaelis about Netflix about cuties. So no, I'm not. And they banned the red pill, Cassie J's The Red Pill, which was it's a documentary critical of feminism, and they banned it. They banned a documentary critical of feminism, and they put this filthy paedophilic propaganda on there. No, I'm not getting an account with Nonsflix, but I've managed to. Should I say this? All right, I've managed to acquire somebody else's login voluntarily. They gave it to me. I won't say who it is because they'll get into trouble. So I will be watching Surviving Death. There's also something else I want to watch called The Discovery. Apparently it's like a fictional version of that same thing. It's a film about some scientists who prove that there's an afterlife, and I'm very interested in that. So Jason, I will be covering that in the future, definitely. Tadpole says, gotta go, Ben, in chat. Thanks to the chat post. God bless. God bless, Tadpole. Do check out her Panwo voice for the Q stuff, and my BitChute channel where there's that film Jews. There's a lot of videos now on BitChute that I haven't put on YouTube. Some of them have been, the Jews video was removed from BitChute for hate speech, ironically, and all the others I just haven't even bothered putting on there. So take care, Tadpole. Thanks for joining. Lisa says it. Do you know what the number 6 really stands for before the inversion? So I don't know what that means, Lisa. Sorry. Oh, you're talking to someone else. Sorry. FMG Football Mad Gamer, political point scoring for hiring transgender as health secretary. Precisely. All these diversity hires are just done for show. That's all it is. These people could be absolutely useless. They could be like Diane Abbott. I mean, Diane Abbott can hardly count the fingers on her hand. Yet she's Shadow Home Secretary. Why? Because I'm a black woman. That's her only line. Her whole career is built on saying, I'm a black woman. You take that away from her, and she'd be useless. She'd be useless for anything. The problem is if you pay people to say these sorts of things, and you give them a career, they're going to keep doing it. Diane Abbott keeps playing on being a black woman because that's how she's built her empire. And until people stop pandering to her and stop treating her as if she's more than she is because she's a black woman, she's not going to stop, is she? Oh, she's horrible. I can't stand her. She's probably the second worst person in the world apart from Professor Brian Cox. The two of them should get together and birth the Antichrist. I made a meme about that. It was quite funny. Diego Rivera, Kamala Harris comes from a family of wealthy slave owners. Wouldn't surprise me, I mean, like Robert Mugabe, he's the same. His family made a fortune under the slave trade. This whole idea is you've got to be white to be a slave owner. No, you don't. No, you don't. The vast majority of slaves in this world only a tiny minority were ever owned by white people. The vast majority were owned by people, basically Arabs from the Middle East. They were the biggest. Indians own a lot of slaves. In fact, India's the biggest offender. There are more than 40 million people in India who are slaves technically today. They're basically involved in indentured servitude, which is a form of slavery, and there are 40 million of them, and they're in India. They're not in Britain. They're not in America. They're in India. Yet, it's white people who have to feel guilty and have to give out reparations. It's always money's involved, isn't it? Yeah, you see, it's like Diane Abbott. People throw money at her, and she's going to keep doing it. It's just simple. It's Pavlovian response. If you throw a fish at a seal, whenever he claps his flippers together, the seal will keep doing it. You throw money at Diane Abbott every time she says, "I'm a black woman," she's going to keep doing it. It's just a natural. It's the way we all think. It's an instinct. BitChute said you would be under the patio more like. Well, knowing Hillary Clinton, probably all right. Yes, I'd be added to the Clinton body count. Unless I could pretend to be dead like John. Where is he? Is he coming back? When's he coming back? Stephen Freestone says, I saw the first episode of Surviving Death. Absolutely bored me to death. All right. So, right, because you didn't survive that then. Everyone's talking about Gareth on the Mindsets watched it and he's going on about it. I'm going to have to see it. I've managed to someone's allowed me to hack their Netflix account, so I'm going to do that. So yeah, Nonsflix, exactly. Pookie says Trump leaving to Frank Sinatra's My Way made the media puke. That was a bad choice of song, I think. Yeah, because he's not over. He's coming back. He said he's coming back. Nihilist says Trump is part Scottish. He could be our first minister. His mother was a Scotswoman. His mother was a lady from the Western Isles. Actually, I was reading her bio. She was a monoglot Gaelic speaker, and she married this German guy, and he's basically, I think he's part German, part English on his father's side. This is why Trump is so keen on Scotland. This is why he's always going over there. He visited his mother's home, his hometown, which is on the Isle of Lewis, I believe, and he's also set up a lot of hotels and golf places there. Pookie Nana, she makes a very good for Jeremy Corbyn. That really shocked me, Pookie. You'd think, I don't know, I credit him with better taste. Mind you, she was quite good looking when she was young. Whether she was as ignorant and obnoxious, I don't know. But she was better looking when she was younger. Though if she had the same personality, then I still wouldn't go there. I'd have standards. I do have standards, And Lammy says, David Lammy, God, he's horrible. Oh, he's a horrible little git, isn't he? He's really nasty. He's nasty, bigoted, chip on his shoulder, little sod. FMG Football Mad Gamer says, assuming you believe the pyramid was built by slaves. Well, apparently there's no slavery in Egypt at the time. They were like free workers. But then slavery is like relative. I mean, you could say people. There's like structural violence. But the pyramids were built by aliens, though, weren't they? Or very, very high technology people. I will, Stephen. I will have to check out Surviving Death. I will. Everyone's going on about it. I'm going to watch that. I'm also going to watch. I'm also going to watch The Discovery as well. This film. It's got Robert Redford in it. That looks quite good. Someone says, would you have preferred Kanye West to Biden? Yes, absolutely. Well, Kanye was never going to be president. Kanye West was actually a very, very clever guy because he I think he may have even planned it with Trump. His run for president was designed to cut the Democratic vote, and it did slightly. He was never running against Trump. That was all a big trick. It was a big trick. Paul Culliford, stay positive, people, no matter what. I'm trying to. Lisa's a big white pill, actually. Lisa's been very positive about this, and I've had a bad couple of days, and Lisa's been one of the people. Lisa, Amazing Polly, Simon Parks, Lily Brunton, a couple of other people have really helped cheer me up, I must say. And I'm trying to be positive. You've got to keep a stiff upper lip. You've got to keep a stiff upper lip when this sort of thing happens. I am old-fashioned in that respect. Pookie Nana says the pyramids were built by people who did not have smartphones. Maybe not, but I think they had anti-gravity. I think they had some method of anti-gravity. TK, I was joking about the pyramid being built by aliens. It was built by people who have a higher technology than we give them credit. Paul Culliford, Biden's finished before he even started. Well, you know, he's acting like he is. I mean, look at his inauguration. They were kept looking over their shoulders. Did you notice that? I've seen like little clips where they keep looking over their shoulders really nervously, as if they're expecting a sniper's bullet to come tearing through them at any second. They didn't look very happy, did they? In fact, none of them have looked happy since the beginning of all this. This is what this ring of steel around the capital. Why have they got a ring of steel around the capital? It's like the green zone in Baghdad. I mean, for goodness sake, what, against whom? A bunch of boomers with weird headgear and flags? That's all it was. Yeah. Alex Ritchie says, Serco has just lost the contract for rubbish collection in Canterbury. Well, good. The biggest company in the world you've never heard of is not quite as big as it used to be. Pookie Nana says, that's what Jeremy likes about Diane. Jeremy Corbyn is no longer with Diane Abbott. They both got married. This was long ago in 1983 when they were young MPs. Apparently they had like a relationship. That's one of the reasons he won't sack her, because even though she's a complete liability, every time she opens her stupid mouth, she loses Labour 100,000 votes. But he won't sack her because she's got dirt on him. Also, of course, she's a black woman. And she'll play, if you try to sack her, she'll play that card. She'll try to make out, well, it's not Corbyn anymore, isn't it? It's that horrible, he's much worse than Corbyn. What's his name? Starmer, whatever his name is. Keir Starmer. He's much worse than Corbyn. I can't stand him. He's so obnoxious. He's got this really stupid voice. He goes like that. Yeah, yeah. And he's just a left-wing Tony Blair. He won't sack Diane Abbott because she will. She'll play the, oh my God, everyone's a racist around me line. You know, all white people are racists. And they won't dare do that. So they can't sack Diane Abbott. All they can do is shut her up during election season. Pike So says, do you think Piers Corbyn did a three-way with Jeremy and Diane? I bloody hope not. I really would hope not. Piers, I don't think... Piers is a great guy. I mean, I've met Piers Corbyn a couple of times. He's a genius. He's an absolute genius, that bloke. I mean, what he knows about the weather and things like that is fantastic. He used to... Yeah, he really did. He's brilliant. Pookie now says Starmer is a tool. He's a tool, he's a fool, he's a pool, he's everything. Yeah. Pookie Nana, is he the guy who suppressed the child trafficking investigations? Well, he was Attorney General when a lot of fuss about the grooming gangs came out. So he would have heard about it and be able to make a decision on that. So that's another reason why we shouldn't trust him. Pi says, Mike Graham from Talk Radio accused Piers of being creepy about women and groping them on Twitter. I don't believe it. Mike Graham comes out with some real crap sometimes. I mean, every so often, like, he's really good. He used to do some dialogues with Nigel Farage and other people that were really quite good. And then every so often he just piles out a load of bull excrement about all kinds of nonsense. I mean, he's so totally... he was going on about the election, about how you just have to... He's the one who said that Trump shouldn't contest the election and things like that. Nihilist Lives Matter says, having Lammy, Abbott and Phillips on the Labour front bench is a gift for the Tories. It is indeed. I think Starmer is going to regret... I mean, he's stuck with Abbott no matter what happens. I think he's going to regret having Phillips and Lammy as well. He's going to regret that. I mean, maybe... You see, Lammy, you see, was really keen on Corbyn originally, but then he said he was going to vote for Starmer, which there may have been a deal done at some point. Oh, British politics is like a soap opera, isn't it? Oh, man. How are we going? We're going for almost 2 hours now. I think... This is a subject I'm going to have to come back to because I don't honestly think that we're going to know what's going to happen for a while. Lisa, I think, has nailed it. We're still up in the air. The original plan didn't work, And we've got to be patient. We just got to wait. And it's difficult to be patient because I want to do something. I want to take action. And I'm doing what I can from where I am. And I know Lisa is too. Lisa presents the Cry Freedom show on her Panmo Radio and lots of other things. And it's just like, what else can we do? And it's like, I want to see something happen, isn't it? I just want to see something happen. The people who on the inside, if there are good guys on the inside, and I think there are, and Trump's one of them, I don't think they're going away. Trump is on Telegram. I've been following him on Telegram. He's doing what he normally used to do on Twitter. Oh, proselytizing Orthodox Pentecostal Angora rabbit is back. It's not trans rabbit anymore. So I guess the aliens didn't abduct Biden after all. Well, they haven't yet, but they're welcome to, and they don't have to bring him back. FMG says, I can't see Farage becoming an MP since he's not focusing on Brexit and being an MEP. Reform Party is already above Lib Dems in the polls. Well, I don't think he's never been in Westminster. He's been I don't know about I think Reform Party is a bad name, actually. They should have just stuck with Brexit Party. I mean, it's... Farage keeps kissing Tony Blair's ass. He's going to completely destroy his credibility. Lisa says here, the most important thing we can do, Ben, is support each other. As I said, patience and heart, only way. Yeah, we've got each other. We've got a community here. We're not backing down. As I said in my live, not my live streams, my Alt Tech exclusives. You've got to be happy warriors. What's Trump's ID on Telegram? I'll just find it, Lisa. Just one sec. Telegram's shut. I haven't opened Telegram yet. Let me just open it. I'll find out what his ID is. Rabbit says my name went all PC. Oh, right, yeah. So you're an Angora rabbit now. Okay, Rabbit. That's fair enough. Can I cut off your hair and make it into a woolly hat? Is that all right? I'll take that as a yes. All right. No one's flower. I much prefer Kanye West. Oh, absolutely. Kanye. Well, Kanye was actually on... Here we go. Look. What's this? Real Donald Trump scam. Oh, is this not real then? Why is it called a scam? Oh, hang on. Sorry. This is t.me Mr. Donald / Trump. Many users are reporting this account as a scam or fake account. Please be careful, especially if it asks you for money. All right. Okay. But it might not be, Lisa. Just one moment. Because this account retweeted, not retweeted, you know what I mean. It re-telegrammed X22 report. Oh, and there's a lady called Representative, what's her name?
Just filed articles of impeachment on President Joe Biden. We'll see how this goes.
Good. There's a lady who's a Republican representative who's filed articles of impeachment on Joe Biden. Good. I don't know if this is real or not, Lisa. I hope it's real. I do hope it's real. But it looks like the kind of things he used to tweet. So is it really a scam? Is it really just a scam? I know he was on Parler. Oh, he's got an Odyssey. Trump has an Odyssey. Yeah, no one's flower said I prefer Kanye West. Well, Kanye, like I said, he was very cleverly helping Trump. His run for president was to help Trump. Rabbit says, you mean you can get exclusive content? I think you just need just to get a Telegram. If it's a real one, though. Back to India. Hello, Back to India. Are you the real Back to India? Is it Kitty? They were already asking for his impeachment 22 hours after he started. It's cruel. The poor man is demented. What's he doing there? He thinks he's standing up against Bush, lol. Oh, yeah, I remember that, Back to India. Yeah, He said he mentioned Bush at one point he mentioned Bush instead of Trump. Yeah. But where are we now? Okay. Where are we now? Oh, Pi says, I think they are fakes. He'll probably be quiet for a few weeks. I think Trump is going to be back, yeah. Paul Cullifer said Trump could create his own platform and win over 75 million fans. He may well try that. I think alt tech is probably a good thing for him to get into. And as a businessman, he'll understand that. Onzo said, Ben, do you ever think of going off grid? I would. I'd like to, but for me, it may be a little bit like what Gurdjieff called the way of the monk, which wouldn't be right for me. That is basically to retreat from the world rather than to be in the world and try and change it. But I've, I think the world. Hopefully, what I would like to see is the entire world off grid. I'd like to see the entire world off. Anyway, guys, it's nearly 2 hours. I'm a bit drained, actually. I'm a bit drained. I've been for a couple of days. I've been a bit out of energy because this has been a bit of a blow. But we've got to be happy warriors, and that's a good phrase I came across. Happy warrior, and it means just fighting as hard as you can for what you believe in, what's true and what's right. But being, taking the rough with the smooth, remembering there are bad days. And it's like you've got to be honourable and have humanity. It's like Zulu. This is why I love the film Zulu so much. It's probably the wokeists are trying to get rid of that film because they think it's racist. But the film Zulu is actually very good because it's about that. It's about how you can get into conflicts, even very violent conflicts, yet not lose your humanity. So I might rewatch that film actually. Luckily, I managed to get hold of a copy before it was banned. It's been good. It's TK says it's been great, Ben. Poor Donald Trump, and it's very easy to. I mean, TK, watch it. I tried not to watch too much mainstream media because it's very easy to believe that it's all goodbye Trump. It's been nice. I mean, this is what a lot of people are saying. It's been good, well done. It's all over now. We've got to put him behind us. But I don't think we do. He's going to come back. I think he's still active. We'll see anyway. We'll see. But we got to just. What was it Lord Nelson said? Do your duty. If you have to lie on your deathbed and say, "Thank God I did my duty," so be it. But just be the person who lies there saying, "Thank God I did my duty." FMG, most Biden videos disliked. I noticed that, didn't I? Yeah. I'm going to unsub from the White House YouTube channel. If they're going to delete all Trump stuff, I'm going to unsub from them. DJ B2, hello. The woke stuff is going to accelerate now. Yes, indeed, that's part of the plan. But it's going. I think it's accelerating too fast. In fact, everything they're doing is too quick because they are desperate. They're panicking. That's a good sign. The mask has slipped, as Sargon of Akkad said. When the mask slips, it's all over for them. Pookie Nana, night, you're off. I'm going to close this. I'm going to close the live stream now. It's been a good one. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining me this evening. It's been fun. I feel a lot better now. I've had some coffee actually, but I'm still low on energy at the moment. But it's just temporary. I'll get back in the saddle, and all that. Keep going. Hello, Hugo Rune. How are you? Good night, Hugo. Thanks for joining us just before the end. Paul Culliver, Trump has won for a long time, everyone knows. He's used to winning and he's going to continue winning, I think. Good night, BitChute. Good night, Woody Black. Good night, DJ B2. Good night, FMG. Thanks, Lisa. And I mentioned the Charlie Freak video. I don't know if you heard it, but I did. And thank you. And I will do. I'll keep up the good work, Sister TK. I will, yeah. Rabbit, night. Oh, Hugo's been lurking. All right, okay, Hugo. Well, I hope you enjoyed the show. There'll be another video coming soon. I've got plans for one next week. Let's just look at my diary because I'm busy. I'm a bit busy next week, but I do have plans for more videos. It may be a few days before one comes out. But don't forget to tune into the Hapanwo Show. Keep your eye on the Hapanwo Voice blog. And get Roswell Rising, Roswell Revealed, and Roswell Redeemed. Because they're more prescient than ever, you know. Because there's a situation in those books that's so like what we're going through right now. Thanks, Lisa. Yeah, I subbed to Charlie Freak as well. I think he's cool. But thank you, all of you. And where we go one, we go all. Long live President Trump, 4 more years. You may think that's daft, but, well, it may not. I think we're quite right to say that. See you, Fabian Moon. Take it easy, TK. All the best. Night-night, everyone.